Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As usual, if you're new here, go up here, click on the subscribe button, make sure the notification sign is on so that you can be alerted whenever we have a new video. Now, today we're going to be talking about events. Events in the context of communications as well as marketing and any other ways in which you can talk about events, but with a specific focus on how COVID-19 has affected the events sector. Now, we all know there are no gigs for those who usually are in the events space. Gatherings have been banned. You cannot have a gathering of more than 15 people, even though I've seen people contravene that. There are no weddings, there are no concerts, there are no, parties at clubs. There is no major event that's happening anywhere in the world apart from a few countries that perhaps have decided to live their life. For example, in Tanzania, across the border from Nairobi. What does this do to the people who are in events? First and foremost, events feed a lot of people. Events feed events organizers, musicians, DJs, MCs, events planners, guys who provide tents, sound. All those are different people who are affected by the lack of events currently in the time of COVID-19. As someone who has done communications and has organized events, I know for a fact how difficult it must be. As someone who has friends who are in the DJ space, who are musicians, who are events organizers, I know for a fact that they are having a hard time. Why is it that it's so difficult for guys to actually make money when there is no physical meeting? For one, people are people and people like a gathering. Even in the context of just communication itself, you realize that a lot of organizations, instead of meeting virtually, usually prefer taking a plane, traveling from whichever part of Africa or the world to come to Nairobi to congregate, to have a conference where they can share ideas, where they can talk, where they can see things happening. And this is just how human beings are built. And that's why events are one of the biggest things that earn money to certain economies. If you look back a few years before COVID, Kenya was on the up when it came to events. Not just entertainment events, but global events such as the WTO meeting that was here, the Global Economic Forum that brought people here, including, I think, Barack Obama, World Economic Forum, I should say. And events just have a way of ensuring that not just people come together, but resources are brought together to, one particular place. A lot of the countries that pride themselves in hosting big events have literally made it a part of what they have as an foreign income earner, in that they focus a lot on tourism, they focus a lot on professional people traveling into their countries for specific things. Countries like Dubai, for example, have infrastructure set aside just for people who are coming in. The number of people that go through DPX, the airport there, is just insane. The number of facilities they have for hosting meetings, for hosting science congresses and different types of congregations is just insane. So the advent of COVID-19 has just made sure a lot of these things are not happening because planes are not taking off, borders are closed. A lot of these things have just limited a lot of the things that events people could do. On the flip side, we've seen people, be innovative with how they're doing things. We did not think that DJs could play online and thousands of people could tune in. We did not think that concerts could be held online, or what's his name? Alicia Keys' husband, Swiss Beats, is doing versus putting two artists together and having them battle it out, and people are watching on Instagram in their hundreds of thousands. Crowds that you could not put in a stadium. We did not think things like that could happen. Even things to do with just virtual concerts held by musicians, you know, people performing to an audience. Or if you want to take it a bit further, things like what some influencers or social media personalities like, what's his name? Christian Della is doing COVID-19 or COVID party or COVID, it's called COVID one, Club COVID. Such things were things that we would never have thought about, but then they are all out here. So we're seeing a world where people are realizing alternative ways to actually be able to engage with audiences, to do the things they would do when they were there physically, but now virtually. So going forward, events are going to have to transform. We're going to have to rethink how we do our events. We're seeing an upsurge in the uptake of webinars through different platforms. We're seeing an upsurge in the uptake of other, you know, platforms that were previously used for just chat and other functions being used for meetings and other things like that. And we're seeing the possibility of people reducing human-to-human contact and opting for virtual meetings, virtual conferences, virtual webinars, and all these different things that come with it. For all my friends who are in the event space, COVID will not last forever. I know it will change. I know we will go back to the days when we would go for, you know, Corolga, or those days you go for your days at K1, or even for those of us who work, those global conferences, those trips to whichever country to go and meet different people who are in the sector that you are in. Those will come back. We will find a solution, and the events will come back to life. On the flip side, if you found out some new ways to do things and they're useful ways, please find ways of actually making that sustainable and making that go on beyond the return to normalcy. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are with regards to events and any other activities that have been affected by COVID-19. See you in the next video. Adios.